And joining us now on our Book Talk segment, great to welcome a woman who's written a very helpful book, I'm sure, for anybody that's looking maybe to make a change in their life as far as their job goes, or even if you're not. It's called Work That Matters, Create a Livelihood That Reflects Your Core Intention. We're joined today by Maia Duerr. She's based out in Santa Fe, New Mexico. She's a writer, organizational consultant, coach, and a very interesting woman, and she joined us by telephone today. Maia, good to talk with you. How are you?
It's wonderful to be here. Thank you, Doug, for inviting me on your show.
Yeah, great to have you with us. When Elise, the PR person, gives us a list of authors available, she always brings us some interesting guests, and I wanted to have you on because so many people are looking for a change in their life, particularly when it comes to work. I think nowadays people are looking to maybe get out of the commute or get out of the 8 to 5 or maybe work from home or just do different things. That you kind of talk about it in the book, your personal story, how you made a change. Actually, you tried a bunch of different things. So a lot of people are thinking that way, right?
Yeah, I think I even lost count, but I think at one point I counted 5 different careers and dozens of jobs within those careers. So I've really been on a search for work that I love, definitely.
I think there's always been, a stigma a little bit about, you can't find out what you want to do, you're changing jobs a lot, but I always thought, how are you going to find out if you like something unless you try it? I mean, in the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that's changing out there as far as, people say, oh, you've done different things. Well, isn't that a good thing?
Well, for me, it's the journey that I had to go through, and I think for a lot of people it is. And what I write about in the book, what I share is a process that I eventually learned, like through trial and error.
Right.
And early on, I did things that were pretty conventional, like I went to a career counselor to try to figure out this question. I read books like What Color Is Your Parachute? But for me, what I found really made the difference after many years, I finally figured out, if I actually bring some elements of self-awareness into this process, so not just, knowing, oh, here's my skills, here's what I like to do, but really kind of bringing in my long-time meditation practice, that was a game changer for me, and that helped me to understand more about what I call the core intention. That's actually in the subtitle of the book. So really, connecting with what our purpose is here on the planet, for me, that made the difference to really begin to align my work more consistently with that, and yeah, that's made all the difference in how fulfilled I feel with my work.
And again, people change as they obviously, they move along in life. They have other interests, and maybe something you really had a passion for in your 20s may wane, and you want to try something else. So I think you have to allow for that in your life, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. And I think to me, the beauty of this approach where you actually get to know what your core intention is, it's actually a little bit different than a passion. So passion is more like the what. What is it what we like to do? And like you're pointing out, that often does change over time. The core intention is more of the why. So why, what's underneath that for me? Why do I feel this, urge that I want to offer something to this group of people? So it's really beginning to identify the purpose that you have that can cross over a lot of different actions that you might do.
And you talk in the book, you give the 6 keys to liberation-based livelihood. I like that that part of the book. We won't go through in detail on all of them, but give a little capsule summary, if you would. I think that's kind of the key to the book, isn't it?
Sure, you bet. Yeah, and those 6 keys, basically that's what I found, again, through my own process of trial and error. But I found these 6 keys are kind of like 6 qualities, personal qualities, that I needed to strengthen in order to make it possible to have work that I love. And really the secret message of the book, I will tell you this, Doug, is that it doesn't actually apply only to work. And you'll get it, as you read through the book, and if you work through the exercises, you'll begin to understand it's actually about how we live a wholehearted life, not just find work that we love. But so the 6 keys, and just a short encapsulation of each of them, the very first one is what I was just talking about. So it's become intimate with your core intention, and the book leads you through a number of exercises to help you understand more about what your purpose is. The second one is to value your gifts and time. And that is, the more that you understand what your purpose is, the more you can start to understand how important it is to not give your time away doing things that are not related to that. So it's full of some exercises and practices to really help you understand how to be protective of your gifts and time and not squander them. The third one is break through inertia and take action. So I think often, certainly this has been true for me, on the path to creating work that I love, I'll set up all kinds of barriers for myself. I'll procrastinate. I want things to be perfect, so I wait until they are, and then nothing happens. So that key is really giving you some very practical strategies to break through those procrastination patterns that we often have. The fourth one is called Make Friends with Uncertainty. Because another quality that happens on this journey to creating work that we love is that, often we have to take risks for that to happen, and that means that we don't know what's going to happen. So when we're facing uncertainty, we often get anxious, we get fearful. So we have to learn how to actually be able to sit in that place of not knowing what's going to happen for a little bit longer, and that's where the magic usually happens. And then the fifth one is think big and make the most of your resources. And that's just beginning to identify where we limit ourselves. Where are we, not allowing ourselves to actually have a big dream or a big vision about what our work can look like. And also resources. So often we think of resources as only money, but there's a lot of other kinds of resources. So that key in the book offers people a chance to actually take a kind of an inventory of all the other assets that you have in your life, including the people who are in your life, your own life skills and background. There's a lot that we have that we often overlook. And then finally, the last one is build a circle of allies and ask for help. So once we have identified what those resources are, we can actually ask people to mentor us, to help connect us with jobs or work opportunities that are going to be fulfilling for us. But for a lot of us, that's a really uncomfortable thing to ask for help. Mm-hmm. So we need practice to do that.
Well, in your personal story, and you talk about it in the book, when did you say, hey, this is the thing I want to do? Did it kind of suddenly hit you? When you decided, well, I'll try this particular job. Okay, this is it. Did that happen to you, or was that a gradual thing?
Well, I think of all the jobs and careers that I've had, there have been parts of each of them that I've really felt like, this is it. Mm-hmm. But I think it was more the way that I put things together for myself that was different these last 10 years of my life. And like I said, I think having a more conscious relationship with my own core intention has helped me make much better choices about the way I structure my work. I've actually had my own business for the past 10 years, and I think I've been able to be really creative in how I do that. And offer, services that are really aligned with who I am, because I've gotten much better at understanding what my purpose is. Yeah.
And again, a lot of people out there, some listening today may say, well, I'm not happy with my job, but it is a paycheck. I know I'm going to get, this amount of money if I just hang in there. But that's the toughest thing to do, right? Make that jump and say, well, is it worth it? To make that change, right? That's the toughest mm-hmm. thing.
Right, and I think it's important for people to realize, it doesn't have to be an all or nothing kind of leap. There are ways to create experiments. So, even if you're in a job right now, I completely understand that. Sometimes we need to be where we are in order to pay our bills. If we have a family to take care of, we can't always take a huge risk right now. But what we can do is maybe start a little bit of a pilot project while we're in our current job. We could do what's called a side hustle. Mm-hmm. So maybe just trying it out. Try, if you have an idea for your own business, you can do that just a few hours a week and see what that feels like, and then gradually grow that so that when it's time, you have more stability built into it when you take that leap.
And again, today there's a lot, like you said, the side hustles, people doing Uber, people doing,
exactly,
grocery
right.
shopping, shipped, and, those very, delivery jobs. So they're out there. You can do those on the side, at least make some side money, and then maybe find, if you can do that to pay your bills, look for something else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great.
Right, yeah, it's all about, I think, building leverage points so you can give yourself more choices.
Yeah. Well, it's a fascinating book, your story as well, and great tips in it, called Work That Matters, Create a Livelihood That Reflects Your Core Intention. We've been talking with Maia Duerr today. Maia, do you have a website you can direct people to? People get more information about the book?
Sure. I have a website that's the same as my name, so it's www.maiaduerr.com. And the book is available on Amazon and other online sites. And also, I'm a big fan of independent bookstores, so if you don't see it at your bookstore, ask them, and they'll probably carry it.
Yeah, I should say MAIADUERR to spell Maia's name, and we'll have a link on our website as well for the book. But Maia, pleasure talking to you. Thanks for taking the time. I know you've been doing a lot of these, but great to have you with us, and please keep in touch. Look forward to maybe talking to you down the road.
Great. Thank you so much, Doug.
Great. Thank you.